This just took a shocking twist for the New Jersey Devils, thinking about things in a different light, as in one Erik Haula. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Devils Digest. I'm your host, Ryan the Goose Gosiker, here with you, as always, bringing you the latest, greatest Devils content, as usual. Before we get into the program, I want you to be a subscriber to the channel. Help us get to our goal of 1,000 by opening night. We need your help. We're over that 700 plateau. We need to get to 1,000 by opening night. We need your help. So subscribe to the channel and let's get into the program. Now, again, this is, nothing insanity, nothing super over the top crazy. Just, I want to revisit something because I came across an article that, kind of makes you think a little bit, okay? And here's the title. Will New Jersey have harder than expected time replacing Erik Haula? Okay. When push comes to shove in the offseason and talking about, who the Devils have come to terms with and the market. And, I think certainly there was a standard, not a standard, but an expectation, that this would be a bigger offseason than what it has been so far, despite the fact that, yes, you can look at the names in the top sentence and go, well, listen, they did a few things, okay, but nothing crazy. Gritsuk doesn't really count, okay, in my opinion, because they were going to sign him no matter what. Like, he was in the prospect system. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, they didn't acquire him, necessarily. Like, it was weird. And re-signings, you don't get too much credit from me for. So, but certainly, again, this article kind of goes into it a little bit, talking about, who really the prominent wing was in the deadline, and then talking about the move from Erik Haula, moving him to Nashville. Okay, widely praised by Devils fans and thought it was a sign of things to come. Thought the Devils were moving cap space to make a move for something bigger. I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think a lot of you have seen that and have thought that as well. Is we thought that this was, the wheels were in motion, the dominoes were starting to fall, and then boom, there's going to be a big trade, and there just wasn't. It fell flat on its face, and it just hasn't happened. And I agree with the next sentence as well. Most thought Andre Palat would be on the next flight after Haula, but that never happened. Okay, and the closer we get to the season, the less likely that seems to happen. I do see you guys in the comment section. So some of you guys are not Haula, but Palat fans. Okay, and that's okay. All right, we're not necessarily going to agree on everybody. I don't want him on the roster anymore. I think that $6 million cap hit is just extremely too high for the level of production that we've been getting from him. The fact that, he's playing up there with our top line is just, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. So, but that obviously that didn't happen. But the Haula trade did happen. And everyone thought the Devils would replace Haula at center. That didn't happen either. And, again, I think that's really a shot at, the kind of the debate we were having, or conversation I was having a couple weeks ago when they signed Bordelot, and it was like, well, he has a potential to, if he plays well enough, to potentially push for the 3C spot. Well, if he's not the 3C, that means Cody Glass is probably your 3C, or Dawson Mercer, which doesn't seem like they want to play Mercer too much at center, but they might be forced into doing so in order to have Mercer at the 3C and Glass at the 4C. Now, they could change things around, okay? Nothing is set in stone. We're just getting to training camp here in less than a month. But it's, we thought there was a bigger change coming to replace Haula, and there just hasn't been. So that's the unfortunate part, kind of going into Haula and his career with the Devils. But I was looking at this final mini paragraph here, and it was that he was a great member of the organization, which he was, right? The Igor, photo from 2022-2023 and that postseason will live forever. The celebration with Igor flat on his face in the background, that picture will forever be memorable for Devils fans. However, they do still need to rebound their center to get through this season, but that doesn't mean they should miss Haula. Again, this is not. They should not feel like they should have gone back on it now, given how things have turned out. Okay, moving Haula was still the right idea. Okay, yes, last year Did he get back on track towards the end of the season? Did he show glimpses of why this team needed him? Sure. Yes, he did. Okay. But we cannot forget that he went scoreless. Forget goalless. Scoreless for months. Months. Just completely disappeared. Okay. So Devils can't have that. Devils need, some consistency down there, and we'll see what they get. Again, I'm not arguing that their replacements are good enough, but I think they just needed a change of scenery in that department. So we'll see how it works out for New Jersey. Again, just revisiting the Erik Haula trade today to see if the Devils should be missing one Erik Haula. And, again, I don't see it. I thought that was a move that was necessary. But again, I also thought the Palat move was necessary, and that hasn't happened and probably won't happen. So this is getting really funky, man. It's an offseason that looked like and was expected to be so good. Kind of feels like a dud. And that's on the GM. And that's, on, Tom to get off his hands and figure this out. But doesn't seem like there's any urgency to do that. So that's what concerns me. And, the Devils, we'll see. They're expected to have another good year, again, contend, in the division, and we'll see if they go from there. It's so frustrating because it's a smaller sample size, but people forget, man. Last year, leading into the Christmas break, they were the best team in the sport. And then it all fell apart. They came back. They're playing lackadaisical. Then the guys start getting hurt. Okay, it's just no good. So I'm interested to see what they come up with, new lines, how Sheldon Keefe uses some of these new guys. Okay, what they're what they look like. But again, we talked about. I think I did a video a week ago about who needs a career year. And we're talking about some of the big guns, Nico, Hischier, Timo, Meier, because you also have guys like Paul Cotter, Stefan Nason, who had career years last year. You can't bank on those guys having career years again. So you're going to, they'll take a step back a little bit. Again, maybe Palat played so bad last year that maybe it's his turn to raise his game. Who knows? I mean, that's just blind optimism. But it's the Devils are going to need some guys to step up, especially, now with the absence of Haula. Again, to me, not as big a deal, okay? And, he was great for the organization, but I don't think Devils fans should miss him, okay? So just got to, I'm interested to see what, I'm ready to, it feels like football. I'm ready to put the pads on. I'm ready to put the skates on and the helmets on and just go out there and compete and see what the Devils are, okay? Because you just never know year to year and how the team chemistry works, injuries, all that stuff. So we'll see how the Devils manage it and how they go from here. But, certainly the Erik Haula trade is one that they should have made, one that should have been followed up by an Andre Palat trade. I understand he's not going anywhere now, okay? So I see you guys in the comments. I appreciate it. Leave us a comment. What do you think about the state of the Devils and, whether they're going to miss Haula more than expected? And it's okay. It's okay to say, no, he stinks. That's okay too. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you commenting, taking the time to listen, to watch these videos. It's much appreciated by all of us at the Devils Digest community. And we appreciate you. We'll catch you next time on Devils Digest.